Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to have you here on the call today. Today, we're discussing merging women leaders in law. And I've been working with women in the practice of law all over the world for many years. But for the last few months specifically, and as a result of the pandemic, there's been a lot more challenges that women are facing that they really would like some help with. And so that's why I put today's webinar together. At the end of the webinar, I'm also going to talk about a new program that I'm launching called Emerging Women Leaders in Law. But because we have a short amount of time together, let's just jump right on in. There are three areas that I'm hearing about all the time, and that is, how do I grow my book of business, especially in a virtual world? It's really difficult to do that. So I'm going to address that issue today. Also, I'm hearing about time management. I'm having a difficult time managing my time, managing distractions. It's not as easy as it was, especially now that I'm working, out of my dining room or at home. So we'll talk about that. And lastly, we're going to talk about inner doubt. Like, I'm having a lot of doubt. I'm having confidence issues because I don't have my colleagues around for support. I'm not sure if I'm doing this the right way. And in the world when we were pre-pandemic, I was having some confidence issues also, being the only woman in the room. So those are the three key topics that we're going to cover today. And let's just jump right on in. Before we do, though, I'd like to just introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Watchman, and I have a company called Symetree Strategies. I've been working with attorneys for over 11 years now, and I work in some key areas. One is on business development, relationship networking, helping lawyers to grow their practice, not just female, but male, female, partner, equity partner, managing partner. And I've been working with law firms all over the globe on building a successful network that turns into opportunities so that you have really good books of business. I also work on leadership and communication. Very often attorneys get to leadership positions and they don't know how to be great leaders. You know how to be great lawyers, but not necessarily great leaders. So I work on leadership skills, communication skills, how to deliver feedback to associates and colleagues. And I also work with attorneys on time management, because if you can manage your time better, you can bill more and hopefully work a little bit less. Now, specifically around women, I do offer a lot of programs on women in law. I bring them in-house to many, many law firms. And that's, again, something I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now that I'm working more remotely, I thought I could offer it to individuals all over the world. I've written two books, and these, again, are specifically with lawyers in mind. One is on time management, called Own Your Time, and the other is called Sell Without Being Salesy, and it's on relationship networking. How do I grow my practice without feeling salesy? You're not selling things, you're really connecting with people. But my biggest passion is really helping women in the practice of law succeed and change the way things are done. There are not enough women in roles of leadership, and no matter what route you take, be it, I want to get into becoming a partner or a managing partner, or I want to work as a GC, whatever the decision is for you, I want you to have the skills that it takes to get there, and the know how, and also the network of other powerful women to talk to share with. So that's part of a passion project that I'm going to share with you as well. But let's just jump right on into what we're here for. It's really not enough to be good at what you do. You really need to bring in the business too. And that is one of the most important things that I share with women lawyers, is that unless you have a very solid and strong book of business, you're holding yourself back from lots of opportunities. And you can move up within a firm very quickly when you have a very big book of business and a network that's constantly producing more revenue for you. It's when you don't have a network at all, when you don't have a book at all, that you're really at the mercy of the firm. Your voice is heard, and you can move around as well. You can go to a different firm if you want to, or you can negotiate better terms for yourself when you have a very good book and robust book of business. Now, for many of you right now, you might just be starting off on building your book of business. Some of you may already have your book of business, but you're struggling to do it because we're working all virtually right now. Whatever the case is, today it's about finding those little things that you can do that will make a big difference. I call them micro shifts. And one of the first micro shifts I want to share with you is to take a look at your network and think about, am I actively engaged in my network right now? Am I reaching out to clients? Am I reaching out to maybe referral sources? Am I reaching out to my dormant clients? Am I reaching out to my alumni group? Make it a point to do one thing every day that will help build your network up. I had a client a couple of months ago where I suggested that he reach out to his dormant clients, clients that had worked with him in the past, and uh, and he did that. And they weren't really interested in doing anything. They were just catching up. Everybody's dealing with this pandemic, and so there's common ground to talk about. But a few months later, he asked if this client had called him to ask if he knew any other attorneys that could help him with employment. And he was able to pass on this lead to somebody else within the firm. So to be top of mind is really, really important. And so where you're looking right now, are you top of mind to your clients, your existing clients? Are you top of mind to your dormant clients? Are you top of mind to referral sources? I had another client that spoke at a CLE. Um, she did it virtually. And what she did was she asked for the attendee list. And she reached out to some of the attendees on that list to say, hey, I'm so glad that you were able to join and let's keep in touch. Well, that turned into an opportunity for her later on because one of those attorneys that was in the CLE, again, a fellow attorney, really did need somebody with this woman's expertise. So the idea here is to pick one tiny thing you can do every single day that will generate more revenue for yourself and for your firm. And by doing nothing, you'll end up with nothing. But even virtually, it's even easier now because we're all at home, we're all starved for connection. And the last thing I'll say about this is that, look, we know we're all doing a lot of Zoom calls. It's all getting very, very Zoomy and fatiguing. But you can just schedule a phone call. It doesn't have to be a video chat. It can just be a phone call. And really what you're doing is you're building relationship. You're not selling anything, you're just connecting. And that's what I want you to do. I just want you to make it a point to do one thing every day where you're developing and furthering your relationships. And that will help you build your robust network that will serve you for right now and for 6 months from now when the world hopefully gets back to normal again. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you is to think small and to be very deliberate about connecting with others within your network. The next question I get asked is, how do I manage all the distractions I'm dealing with and still do my job at a high enough level? Wow, that's a tough one, right? Because in the olden days, we had distractions of people popping into our office. Now, maybe we have distractions of kids walking into our office, or cats jumping on to our keyboards, or dogs barking in the background, or the Amazon delivery truck ringing the bell every 5 minutes. There's so many more distractions. And also our phones, like we're having breaking news alerts every minute on the minute. So make a list of what your distractions are. Think about it. I know for myself, I get very distracted with pop-up news alerts. I'm always turning my head to see what it is. And what I want you to do is make a list and then turn it off. Can I turn off that alert if it's a distraction? Because here's the thing, and if you take away anything from today, and this is the one big one that you take away, it's important. With every distraction, you lose 25 minutes of productivity. So if you're losing all this productivity, you're losing billable time and you're losing personal time because many of you are having to work late at night, on the weekends, or super early in the morning. I get emails from women like at 5 a.m. in the morning because they say this is the only time that I can work. So if you're losing a lot of time, take a look at your distractions. Are you getting email pop-ups when you're writing a contract? Are you really needing to respond to that in that moment, or can it wait till you finish running through the contract? Are you looking at your phone every time you get a text message? Are you wandering off because you're a little bit, exhausted and you're better off looking at Facebook right now? If that's the case, turn off the notifications, turn off the pop-ups, and schedule break times in your day. I would schedule a break time every 40 minutes, especially because we're staring at screens for so long. It's very, very difficult. So that's what I want you to do right now is make a list of all your distractions and pick one. Again, micro shifts, tiny habits. Pick one that you're going to do something about. And again, it could just be putting your phone on to do not disturb when you're working on a contract. I know the other day I made a decision when my kids were little, when my son started driving, I had started to put my phone next to the bed so that I could check when he got home. Well, it's been 4 years and I'm still checking my phone at 3 and 4 in the morning. And it's a pandemic. He's home all the time. Do I really need to get into still stick with that habit of checking my phone, which I'm waking up to do it automatically now because I've created a ritual around it. So what I decided to do instead was put my phone in the kitchen. So I don't look at it anymore. And when I wake up in the morning, it's not the first thing I look at either. So again, that's something I did for myself. What can you do for yourself that will help minimize the distractions and help maximize your energy? That's tip number 2. Small little shifts. And lastly, and I think this is one that, again, I hear this, doesn't matter if it's from women in, Poland, Romania, Germany, um, Hong Kong, it's USA, Canada, Australia, like it's France, Italy, like it's all over. I'm hearing this from women is that there's so much stress in my life. And also I'm the only woman in the room talking to men at a closing or whatever it is. And sometimes I really doubt myself. Maybe I'm a younger lawyer and I don't have the same experience as some of the other attorneys. And that makes me feel really uncomfortable and it causes me to doubt my own abilities. Or I hear I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have a big enough network. Um, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about my ideas. You're always second guessing yourself. And when you doubt yourself, others will automatically doubt you either. In the program that we're going to be doing, we're going to go really in depth in terms of what it is that breaks down our confidence. What is it to have imposter syndrome and how do you eliminate it? Because it's something that we don't have to have. All the things that you think you're not enough at, chances are you are, but you don't believe it. And so that's what we're going to uncover and we're going to unpack in the program. But for today, there are some things that you can do that will give you a little bit more confidence. And one of them is how you speak. If you're speaking in a way that creates uncertainty in what you're communicating, then that's going to be the perception that you are not sure of what you're saying. And you're affirming it by using weak language. So think about the language that you're using. Is it weak or is it strong? Words have a huge impact on our brains. So even if you're thinking it to yourself, that's enough to diminish your confidence levels. So when you say the words like, I just want to, or can I just, that minimizes your statement. The word just makes you smaller. It makes you uncertain. And nobody wants to hear about how you're uncertain. You either are or you aren't. If you apologize every time you speak, that's another way to minimize your strength. To weaken your words is to apologize. I had a client, she was at a closing actually, and all the other attorneys were men, and she was feeling really uncomfortable, and they were talking over her, and she kept apologizing. Sorry, I just want to say one thing. Don't apologize. If you're being interrupted, speak up and say what you want to say. And never preface an idea with saying, this is a dumb idea. All of your ideas are good ideas. Let somebody else decide whether or not they're dumb. You don't have to tell them to think that way about you. So you own your own words, which presents either confidence or lack of confidence. So even if you're not 100% sure what you're saying, say it with confidence. Say, I am confident that XYZ, or my experience in this area has shown me that, or I am going to interrupt you right now by saying this. So own your words and be confident about it and have the presence to not weaken your statements. It's very important that women work on this. It's something that I notice more in women and hardly ever in men with men. And there's a reason for this. Part of it is how we've grown up, and part of it happens because of society and how society sees us, and then how we see ourselves. And I found this great commercial created by Always that I wanted to share with you.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do and just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
Look here.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aww. My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down, because during that time, they're already trying to figure themselves out. And when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it, because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. Doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that is not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Yeah.
So this is a great commercial that illustrates how we diminish and weaken ourselves, and we have a choice. We can be super strong about who we are and what we do and have confidence, or we can minimize that. And what I've noticed in doing my research is that there's a real disparaging number of women in leadership positions within law firms. And even though we're all graduating from law school at the same time, only 19% make it up to equity partner levels. And again, this is something that's changing, but part of it is because women do not have all the tools and all the skills that they need in order to know how to use them in a way that will help them move up within a law firm. And that's something that we can change, and it's changing now. If you take a look at the world, our vice president in the United States is now a woman, also an attorney, I might add. But the NASDAQ is requiring more women to sit on boards. They're making that a requirement. They're doing that in Canada. They've done that in some other countries as well. So now is an amazing opportunity for women to really hone their leadership skills, understand what it means to be a leader, but also to have a way of supporting one another as they move up within their firms or within the industry of law. And it's important because men will go after opportunities and they'll seek them out more than women will. And a research study that was done by Hewlett Packard showed that men apply for jobs or promotions even when they only meet 60% of those qualifications. They're like, yeah, I'm good enough. But a woman won't unless she meets 100% of those qualifications. And again, that's showing that women don't believe that they're good enough to go after it, that they have to have everything in order to move up and to move into different positions. And I'm telling you right now, that's not true. It's just that we hold ourselves back because we don't have all the tools available to us. Look, we want to compete with men equally, absolutely, but you also want to compete with men in a way that shows that you're better, that you have all the necessary skills to move up and manage an organization really well because you've learned how, and you've got a book of business that shows it. So how do we do that? With the Emerging Women Leaders in Law program, which I'm going to be launching January 13th, it's designed specifically to help you know how do you go after those juicy opportunities with confidence. How do you find a sponsor or a mentor within the firm that will support you and put your name out there so that you're top of mind? How can you create a career path for yourself that is what you want to achieve? I mean, you might want to achieve different things at different times in your career, but if you don't give it enough thought, how are you going to know how to get there or if you got there? Let's just say you're ready for a leadership opportunity and you're in the role of a leader and something challenging happens. How do you know how to cope with that? So we're going to talk about how do you have difficult conversations? How do you have good communication? How do you stand up for yourself in a way that isn't shrill or sounding, too much of, you're too much. So how do you do that? How do you offer feedback to either senior people or to associates? And how do you grow your book of business so that you have that foundation to go on when you're going after those bigger opportunities? And the last thing that we're going to cover, and we're going to do a lot of this, is to really study how you hold yourself back. What is it that's causing you to have lower self-confidence? And how do you overcome it? That imposter syndrome, it's a big deal. Lacking confidence and not being sure of yourself, it's a big deal, and it happens to so many women. But when you're working in a community like we're going to have starting on January 13th, you're going to have a network of other women who are going through it with you, and also your own network that you can rely on and bounce ideas off of. So you are going to be strategically placed with all the right tools you need to move up within your law firm and not to feel nervous about it because you'll know what to do. It's real. And the last thing we'll cover is how do you manage your time so that you can have more free time and really good concentrated work time. And one woman I was talking to at this law firm, she's a senior. She's been at it for, I don't know, 25 or 30 years. And she said, you can have it all, but you might not be able to have it all at the same time. So I'm going to share with you, how do you get there? That's what you're going to get from this program. And it works like this. I'm now able to offer a go at your own pace virtual program. So many of the women lawyers that I've spoken to have said, listen, I'd love to take the live course, but I just don't have the time to commit and my schedule doesn't always mesh with yours. And they're so right. So I've put everything online into bite-sized pieces that you can watch at your own pace. And if you do it all in one shot, it'll be 8 weeks. But here's the thing, you're going to have this virtual program for life. And I really do encourage you to go back to it because some of the content might not really fit right now, but it will fit later on. Or you might need a reminder on how to get confident again or how to be resilient when you're feeling a little weak. So that's the benefit of having this go at your own pace virtual program. The other piece of it, which is something that most online programs or most that I've seen don't offer, is that I'm going to offer you a weekly live Q&A group session that I'm going to put onto the Zoom platform. All you have to do is jump in and ask your question. There's going to be women from all over the world who are lawyers on those Q&A calls, and they're just jump on. That's it. All you have to do, and you'll have that for life. So there's that component of the live piece of it that will help you. I'm also going to be offering additional resources like links, books, PDFs, and assessments that you can use at your own on your own time and at your own pace. And for everybody that signs up for the program now, you'll get 2 individual coaching sessions with me or a member of my team. That's worth a lot, and it'll help you a lot to really get clear around your own strategy. And you'll also have unlimited membership into our private Facebook community. And this includes access to ongoing support from me. I'll be posting other videos up there. You'll have community to interact with and ask questions to. There'll be articles and everything else. So if you're interested in doing all of this, I really encourage you. I think this is the right fit for many women who are on their way up within their careers. Listen, I know that time is a real issue for many of you. I get it. And I also know it's very hard for women to go it alone. You don't have to be alone, especially if you're a young associate or a new partner. This program has helped hundreds of women move up in their firms, in their careers, and in their life. And it will help you also plan and prepare for your future with all the tools that you need to be ready to compete solidly for what comes next. And I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that this program, it really isn't for everybody. And I'm being very selective about who goes through it and joins our community. If you're ready to put yourself in a position to grow in your career and have the confidence to do it, get your book of business nice and big, tons of originations, then this is probably the right course for you. The best way to see is for us to just get on a call together. And I'm offering a 30-minute coaching call that'll give us an opportunity to get to know each other and see where I can offer you some great strategy and direction, and also to know if this program would be the right fit for you. And because I don't have a ton of time for all the calls I'm getting, I'm going to encourage you to click on the schedule link right now. You can see it right on your screen. I'll be taking this down very soon just because I don't have time for all the calls that I get. So if you feel like this is the time for you, and I hope that it is, schedule your meeting with me now, and then go ahead and follow the instructions on the next page. I look forward to meeting you. Bye for now.